Hello YouTube! As you see, this V-cord unit is working. So, it's gonna be a little bit of a backstory to how I got the Toshiba up and running. I just quit while I was ahead on troubleshooting the color board here for starters. So I need to start from the very beginning. So as you see, I bought this guy. This is the Sanyo VTC-8200. If you see a V-cord deck, chances are this is the one you're gonna see. I saw it for parts on eBay for like the cheapest I've ever seen a V-cord unit go for. And when I saw it, I'm like, well, I'd be a fool not to buy it for parts, just because they never appear at that price. So I bought it, and it came in yesterday. And I worked on the assumption that chances are this thing would just need the basic maintenance on it, all that, and that the boards would be good. With that assumption, considering that the Toshiba is an extremely rare unit, and plus it's also very, it's less, because it lacks a tuner board, it's way more compact and cool looking. I decided to swap the color and the servo boards from the Sanyo into the Toshiba, and it worked. As you see, I now have the capability for V-cord playback. This is an extremely rare format, as I'm sure you're already aware. So any playback of this is already quite the accomplishment, and I'm proud to say that I can now, well, I'm going to let this run for a bit more. Make sure that the color's going to stay on, that the servo operation is still going to be good. But I think it's safe to say that I will be able to play back V-cord tapes for the foreseeable future. So I wish that I could have troubleshooted the color board and the servo board that actually came with this unit. The color board, I couldn't figure out what the issue was, because I do the wet finger trick in like this area here, and that will restore the color. I think something was off with the in the area with the 229 kilohertz crystal. That's like the most I could get out of. Like maybe either the crystal is like becoming too. Because I measured frequency on the crystal on the color board from the Toshiba, and it was outputting the right frequency, but I looked at it on a scope and it looked like a bit messy. So I wonder if like the crystal was just getting out of whack, and by adding the extra load through my wet finger, that was like smoothing it out a bit, and because the capacitors were testing good. So that was pointing to more of an unorthodox problem than I was originally hoping on that. And so the servo board, that was a big issue. So you're wondering why this is here. So I took this out of this board to put it into, that's the board from the Toshiba originally. I put it in there, and it did not fix the servo issue. It's restored it back to the right operation, but it didn't fix the problem. So I guess it wasn't that chip. The chip just happened to break and just kind of, stopped all, everything I could do to troubleshoot any further. So I'm just marking this board as having some kind of curse placed on it. I don't think it wants to work, sadly. I mean, being a math student, I was taught, to pursue the elegant solutions to this. Elegant solutions in like electronics troubleshooting would be like actual component level repair and all that. This unit was proving that it, like, I think I would have a better chance of solving like the Millennium Prize problems than I would trying to find the fault on the servo board there, if I'm being honest. So I had to admit defeat and just go with the board swap. But I mean, if it works, it works. It's still a solution. You know, I mean if it's a CED player, then I would have a better idea of where to like look at for component level repairs. But on something like this, I mean, VCRs are a entirely different beast. Yeah, I'm just still floored that I got this thing working. But it's been less than an hour since I had this thing running for, so I'm going to keep this running for basically the rest of the day. Really make sure that it's going to stay working, that it's not going to go black and white or anything, or go wrong speed. Make sure that it doesn't do that, and then I can bring it into the theater and I can actually watch my tapes and digitize whatever I find on them. This is, in case you haven't figured it out by now, this is Foul Play. Back then, this movie, I believe, would have just been shown on HBO. So, at best on this, and there hasn't been any commercial breaks. So at best, on this tape, there's going to be like a sign-off or something at the end. But, yeah, otherwise, it's just going to be watching Foul Play, which has a really, I mean, I know this format isn't like the best. It's definitely not VHS, but this format, this transfer was never that great. I say that having only watched the CED, really, and the CED, even though even for an early release, the colors, the transfer on that was kind of shoddy, and I'm guessing that's just what they had to work with if this broadcast is anything to judge. But I really don't have anything else to say. I just wish I could have located the component that was wrong on those boards, but it is just how it goes sometimes. If life gives you a parts V-chord player, use it. So, that's really all I have to say. Now that the color board and the servo board are swapped, this unit seems to be working. And that's basically all I have for now. I guess one last thing I'll say, because I noticed it. Because at first, there was, when I played back my first tape, to first see if the board swap worked. Like, it worked for a bit, but then there was like a bunch of snow on the screen, and I guess it lost vertical sync and it just started rolling. I cleaned the heads, and that cleared it up. So, I'm guessing this format is going to be prone to the head clogs. Like, before I started recording this even, I noticed that there was like a little bit of snow buildup, but then, like there, it just happened as I was talking about it. Like that happened, but then it just, kind of went away. So it's either like a major tape defect, or the head momentarily got clogged, but then got unclogged just by the friction of the tape to the head. That happens like on U-matic. My other U-matic players buried under all the skins from my V-chord decks, but yeah, that happens on U-matic. Sometimes it just unclogs itself. Most of the time, you gotta unclog it. So, I'm just gonna stay here, drink a little coffee, watch a little bit of the tapes that I have, and see how they look. Bye for now. Forgot to say bye. I should be more polite. Toodaloo, everyone.